Hello guys, I've got to warn y'all because this is going to be a long one, so I would recommend getting on your seat of choice, getting on a square shaped blanket, getting your comically large confectionery item out, and let's get right into the show. Because this is going to be a long one, we're covering all the races in 5e that I haven't already covered. So check out the other video of the Player's Handbook races, which includes Elves, Dragonborn, that kind of stuff. But right in this video, I'm going to be covering 37 of the races in 5e. This will be one of the last videos I do about 5e before switching over to 2024. So, first of all, we got the Aarakocra. These are bird-type creatures that come from the plane of air. They have flight of 60 feet and talons, which do a d6 of slashing damage. The Aasimar, angel-like creatures who, at level 3, can choose to have wings or shed a bright light. The Changeling can turn into any person they want, any creature, as long as it's a humanoid and in their size range. So they don't really have a person, you know. Okay, the Deep Gnome comes from... They're gnomes that spend a lot of time underground, and as such, they get to blend into a lot of things, which makes them quite stealthy. They also have improved dark vision. Kind of same with the Duergar, except these guys can cast spells, and they have a stronger mind, being resistant to psychic damage and advantage on psychic-based spells. Eldarin are like elves, but they change their mood depending on the weather. Or not the weather, the season. So, very good. Fairies, I think you already know what fairies are, but they get 3 spells at level 1 that they can cast a specific amount of times. And they also have flight because they're fairy wings. They have fairy fire at level 1. The Firbolg are distant ancestor of the giants, but they're more wood-type giants. They can talk to animals, they also can turn invisible at will. The Genasi are like the elementals, but lesser. They're humanoid elementals, so they can control elements to a certain point. They have resistances to their elements, if they can. And they get their spells like Wave and Gust. The Githyanki Githzerai. You get very good combat with the Githyanki, being, combat-based things, so you get better criticals, that kind of stuff. With the Githzerai, you get better spells. The Goliaths are very tall, very strong, and can tank a lot of hits with a lot of healing. I'm going to start doubling up now, because to save time. So these are the Herringon and the Kenku. The Herringon's a rabbit folk, or bunny folk, that are very fast. That's about all there is to it, and they have high jumps, I'm pretty sure. There's Kenku, which are flightless birds that can... or flightless humanoid birds that can copy down information and voices. They can copy voices instantly. So very cool. The Lokotha and the Owlin. The Lokotha is a fish, basically, with scaly skin. So you need to keep it in water every hour or so. The Owlin, owl-type creature. They're like the Aarakocra, but instead of normal birds, they're owls. Very cool. They have stealth proficiency at level 1. The Satyr and Sea Elves. The Satyr, or the Satyr, I don't know how to say it, but these are Feywild creatures, the Satyr, and they come from the Feywild. They have hooves to increase their walking speed and jumps. They also can learn musical instruments quite fast, and the performance and persuasion skills. They can also ram you with the horns. The Sea Elves can swim, swing speed, and talk to fish. Very cool. But just because you can talk to them doesn't mean they will listen to you. The Shadakai and Tabaxi are basically shadow elves, but with teleportation, and the Tabaxi are cat humanoids that can climb, and they have claws. The Tortle and the Triton. The Tortle are giant turtles, basically humanoid turtles, with a protective shell that gives them +4 in armor class. They also have a 60 in armor class without going into their shell. The Triton are like sea elves, but way cooler, because they're very cool. The Verdon and the Bugbear. The Verdon have telepathy. They're greenish elves who descend from goblins. The Bugbears are similar to goblins as well, but they have long arms, which give them +5 feet in combat, and they have advantage in the stealth skill. The Centaur and the Goblin. The Centaurs have increased speed, a lot of it, and ramming. But the question is, do they have 2 spines? Because they have a spine here, and do they have a horse spine? I'll let you wonder that. The Goblins are small creatures, so they can basically do a special attack on creatures bigger than them, being medium to gargantuan, and they can do an extra bit of damage to them. The Grung and the Hobgoblin. The Grung are basically just frog creatures who have poison and not spider climb, but they can climb walls pretty good. The Hobgoblins are, they're basically taller and more battle intelligent goblins, and they work very well when in team, giving bonuses and that. Kobolds are like miniature dragons that stand on 2 legs. And they can be quite versatile, given their dragon ancestry feature. Lizard folk, they only really like other lizard folk, but they are scaly, which means they have bonus armor class at level 1. The Minotaur and Orcs. The Minotaur, descend from combining goats and people, making a fast and deadly creature, which means they can ram you with their horns and charge at you to do a bit of extra damage and extra speed. The Orcs, like the Goliaths, have stronger things, but instead of extra healing, they get immunity to death for a one-time use before taking a long rest. And they can take a dash action as a bonus action, equal to their proficiency bonus. These are the last 2, the Shifter and the Yuan-ti. The Shifters can partly shift bits of their body into bears, wolves, boar, and rats, giving them different bonuses depending on which. The Yuan-ti, or the Yuan-ti, or Yuan-ti, snake-like people with scaly skin, and they have poisonous things running through their veins. They can have resistance to poison and poisonous attacks. That'll be all. Sorry if I talked too fast in this video. Subscribe here, click videos here. There should be a D&D playlist if you want to see all of my lovely videos. And the last video for 5e will be coming out next week, maybe. I'm not sure yet. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.